exclude those below 7 because I know your target is 7 or above, correct? Okay, so I've gathered information, so many resources from IDP, from others, from the Cambridge sites, and that's just what I've gathered. So for band 7, fluency and coherence, the candidate speaks at length on familiar topics and provides relevant, organized response. So you might, there will be times where you might be hesitating, but those little hesitations, those little pauses do not impact the flow of the conversation greatly. That's the key for a band 7 in regards to fluency and coherence. For lexical resource, you do display a range of vocabulary, so there will be not much of repetitive words, and there'll be, you'll be quite fluent in saying your idea, stating your idea, giving the answer, but then it will be expected for some awkward phrasing. There'll be some awkward phrasing in there. That one make awkward phrasing is like connective words, incorrect connective words, or some idioms that doesn't really serve their purpose, this kind of stuff, or an incorrect paraphrasing. Then, and grammatical range and accuracy. So you will display in band 7, the candidate will already display their sufficient knowledge on grammatical and tenses and stuff, but there will be some incorrect use and pronunciation. This one is actually quite tricky, this about pronunciation, but we'll get to that later. Pronunciation is generally clear if you are rewarded with a band 7, but the thing about English is it's a language that focuses so much on stressing. So with candidates being awarded a band 7, they are expected to speak clearly, pronounce words clearly, but in natural, some words might sound unnatural, or the pronunciation will be inconsistent. For example, you might pronounce the same words in a setting using American pronunciation, because for us, English is an ESL, right? It's not a native language. So we absorb accents from here and there and make it our own. So inconsistency is not advised here. Once you pronounce word a certain way, yes, once you pronounce word a certain way, you have to pronounce it that way, the same way, all throughout. So you choose, you either want to pronounce words as in how the RP, the receipt pronunciation, as for the British say it, or do you want to use the American way of pronouncing it? You choose, you decide, and then you go by that throughout the conversation. I know, that's why practice is the key. Now, band 8, this is what I got. Well, it's more or less like band 7, but mistakes are less common. Very, very uncommon. The hesitation will be very, very few, very little. Self-correction as well. It's all right to correct yourself, but the frequency has to be really, really low. Like sometimes when you talk about ideas and you remember, oh, I actually know how to make it more complicated. I actually know how to make what I'm about to say or what I just said to be in a form of a more complex sentence, you can actually correct yourself, but try to not make it common. Try not to make it too frequently. Lexical result as well. Discourse markers is like, I do agree, or on the other hand, this kind of stuff. No. Nevertheless, discourse marker is the sentence or the phrase that will state how do you stand in regards to the point or to the topic the examiner just point out to you. For example, he or she talked about, what do you think about art? Or what do you think about modern art? Modern art is and you start responding by saying, I do agree that however, those kind of stuff. A discourse is a discussion, but an argumentative one. That is what it would call a discourse. Discursos. Lexical resource. Paraphrasing is extremely important as well. The question, because you are conversing, right? So the examiner will ask you a question in regards to what you just said or what you talked about in part 2. You do not directly answer. You should paraphrase the question first. For instance, some expert believes that the way the human, the parental relationship with their kids is different in Asia as compared to in Europe. What is your view about that? You do not directly answer in Asia and Europe, but you start by saying that indeed there are some theories that says parent and children relationship might be different for people that lives in Europe and people that live in Asia. And that I do believe that what is your view? I do believe that it's not significant. I do believe that that those theories are indeed correct in some ways because this and this and this. Although I do believe that this and yes. So you do not directly answer. You start by paraphrasing the question. Grammatical range and accuracy. This one. So that's why I say that the only way is practice, because for grammatical range and accuracy, you cannot say words, you cannot say a phrase, you cannot say tenses, you cannot use tenses that you're not familiar with. At least I personally believe that. So you have to familiarize yourself with that. Using tenses, using phrasal verb. Oh, in English, phrasal verb takes one of the highest level in, for example, phrasal verb. For example, instead of saying I delay, you could say I put off. This kind of stuff. Do you understand what a phrasal verb is? Phrasal is verb plus preposition, and when they are put together, they mean a different thing. For example, carry on means to continue, carry out means to do, put off means to delay. Yeah, this kind of stuff. that is one of the word. It's in the higher level in terms of grammatical range. Yes, phrasal verb. Not necessarily, yeah, memorizing. Languages is all about memorizing, but not necessarily memorizing. You only, yeah, you need to get familiar. Yes, it's instead of put it like this. Instead of saying things the way someone who learned English, like this word in Bahasa Indonesia, is this in English. Instead of doing conversation with words the way someone learns by dictionary, phrasal verbs indicates that you actually understand and speak it the way the native people speak it. Do you get the point? Okay, and then pronunciation. This one, but I have an exercise, but that will be in the last. Because I see lots of people still have misunderstanding about what pronunciation actually means. But before that, let's go. We're going to do a breakdown of each part because, as I said before, there will be 3 parts. In part 1, introduction and interview, so what to expect. It's easy here, you can nail this. Questions about familiar topics, it could be about hobbies, it could be about work, it could be about studies, it could be about family. The tips is also straightforward. Give full clear answers. And this is the most important, do not memorize answers. Because it can be sensed. Really. I mean, they've done this with thousands and thousands of people. Of course, they know they can sense it. And you've asked me before whether it's alright if you just lie and make up stories about this. Well, it doesn't matter because, I mean, the examiner doesn't care about that. He only cares about how you give your answer. But I personally would suggest, I do not recommend making up stories about yourself. Because of course it's normal. Indeed, there's nothing wrong with practicing. That's actually commendable. That's commendable. But do not sing like you are saying things out of your head. Yeah, like giving a speech, like memorizing stuff. That is extremely unadvised for. And then you expand with examples. This, for example, if you are, let's say you are asked about your hobbies, do not only say about what kind of hobby it is, but elaborate. The key words is elaboration. You elaborate. Do not ever give a one sentence answer or a 1 and 2 words answers. That's like, take my money for free. I think everybody got similar topics here. I was asked about my home. I forgot family, hometown, this kind of stuff. Actually, families. I was asked where do I live together with my family. And oh no, my internet connection. Is my internet connection all right? Okay. I was asked about whether I live together with my family, and I said I do not. Why? Because I started here, then my family lived at home. And the examiner followed up by asking about my hometown. It only lasts 3 to 4 minutes, so part one is not long and it's relatively relaxed. I have one thing I want to say to you, but that can wait, so let's talk about this first. The key to this is do not make it overcomplicated. Like, do not obsess with too much of complex sentences, or you don't need to sing like just the way someone introducing themselves to another person, but in a formal setting. Just treat it like a job interview. You want